So, if you look at, because a lot of people have written books, regarding this. There's what happened in June 12. There's Wole Soyinka, You Must Set Forth at Dawn,
yes,
and he called the annulments a treason against the people. But if you look at it, how did IBB's retrospective justification in his book fail to address the irreparable damage to democratic values or democratic
He doesn't
ethos?
want to. He's even excusing himself. He's saying that because he annulled it, you get it? Because he annulled it, the country does not disintegrate, and that is why we are able to have democracy. That is how serpentine his logic is. That's why I use the word rhetorical rigmarole to describe the way he uses it. He's justifying it. He said it that day.
So he's trying to position himself as a hero.
As a hero. That's what he's trying to say. He's saying, I saved this country for democracy. If I had gone to change it, if I had allowed Abiola, the country will have disintegrated. That's
because according to him,
some
persons who were still interested in killing him at the end of the day.
He said they wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Why don't you kill the people who wanted to kill him? You are the commander-in-chief.
Right.
Let the people defend the person who won the mandate. Don't act as if you have all the knowledge.
Right.
And then he said, if I were to do it again, I would do it differently. And people believe that it meant that it would disannul. You said that there was no other choice, but to annul. I say you would do it differently. So you are just lying. You are not going to do it differently.
I'm wondering what he would do differently.
What will you do differently? What will you do when you said that?
You say it's the right decision.
It's the right decision. I did it in the interest of the unity and the survival of this country. Then you will do it differently means that you wanted the country to dissolve.
Okay, let's look at the role of the media, because you just mentioned something earlier on that editors need to be careful how they couch their headlines and all of that, because we saw that at that time the media was on fire, ensuring that they gave details to the people about giving blow-by-blow account of everything that was happening. But how do you think that shaped the public's understanding of the event?
The media was very strong that time. The kudos will go to the news detail. And there were some other ones. I remember one magazine, I forgot the name of the guy. I remember the headline, How Nigeria Will Disintegrate, Part 1. There were people out. Babafemi Ojudu has just written a book about his own adventures of the guerrilla journalist, which I've read. I think people should go and read to know. Those people who are calling for military rule should know how dastardly and how cruel and how bloody the atmosphere was at that time. So the media held its own. The people were being hounded from place to place. They were printing. They will print here tomorrow. They print there. They don't want people to know. I mean, if the internet there, you don't even need to print anywhere. You just put it online and everybody would know what
in the
is
course
going.
of this whole matter.
No, Delegiwa was dead then. Yes, Delegiwa had long
died.
Even Newswatch, which was a very strong paper during the time of Babangida, was not even a factor at that time. The papers, the newspapers, the two major headaches for the military were the news and the Tell magazine.
That's right. That's right.
Omatseye, Grebo, and so on. People don't talk a lot about what the Tell did. They talk about the news, but they were both very powerful and feared, and they were pursued.
So how do you see Babangida's confession, or let me just put it that way, how do you see it as, I mean, because if you look at the annulled elections, the presumed winner, MKO, was a Yoruba icon, and then it has actually polarized reaction with, for instance, Professor Ibrahim Jibrin cautioning against reigniting regional animosity, because they see him as, yes, a Yoruba icon, and then now having sentiments towards the northern part, because Babangida is of the northern extraction. How can we balance this as you look at Tinubu in the mix of things as a Yoruba leader, navigate alliances ahead of the 2027 election?
There's nothing new about this. There's always regional and ethnic tensions. There will always be elites who want to exploit this kind of atmosphere. At that time, there was actually tension in the country. There was hunger because some people could not work.
Inflation was way more than 30%.
Access for food was difficult. Access to fuel was difficult. And there was also regional tension. there was a sense that the Igbos just moved home. Many of them just moved home. And ironically, the person who was regarded as the governor of Lagos was Ubani, who was, anytime he said nobody should go to work, we started calling him the governor of Lagos. He's dead now. But he was the one that was holding the fort here in Lagos. So it's a very interesting story. But the thing is that the president was there, and was there for good measure, I'm sure, to try to say that. There was an irony to it too. When he went there, he also needled him and said, remember, you didn't want to inaugurate the Senate, because the Senate had already won an election. Didn't want to inaugurate the Senate. It was one of them, needling the governor at that time, so they went after him and so on. So the regional tension was there, and there was a sense that the Southwest wanted to own everything. But then how did they resolve it? They resolved it, including IBB going to Ota, saying that, look, let it be a Southwest presidency. That's what Obasanjo, who didn't believe in it, took advantage of it.
Anyway, we'll come back to this whole conversation.